All right, good afternoon, Mr. Lambert. Would you introduce yourself, tell us your name and DOC number.
109947.
All right, and you have counsel with you today.
Yes, I do.
I'm sorry.
Would you introduce yourself?
Yes, Adrienne Hutchison, attorney with the Louisiana Parole Project, here on behalf of Mr. Jackie Lambert. I'm sorry, we're still filing in.
I see that, and I'm going to read the list of names, at least that I have, who are there. We have Maria Thibodeau, Alvin Mallory, Doris Lambert, Angela Wright, Dorothy Joseph, Fallon Joseph, Tiquan Kohler, Krista Chase Williams, Michael James Williams, Larry Kelly, Ray Lane, Mary J. Williams, Paul Stewart. By Zoom, we have Daryl Miles. I think we're trying to still reach Mr. Rick Ledoux, who wants to speak in behalf. We have the Parole Project. I guess I got everybody. And Ms. Hutchinson, I have as speaking in support Mr. Rick Ledoux, Daryl Miles, and the Parole Project. Is there any other person there? I don't have any indication of somebody there speaking.
Mr. Ledoux is actually here.
I do see.
Yes.
Yes, I do. Thank you.
Yes, so we have everybody present in person to speak today. Thank you.
Good. And we do have also joining by Zoom, just observing Ms. Liz Young, the victim's granddaughter. She is in opposition. So, Mr. Lambert, let me just read some identifying information into the record, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Freeman. Your case has been assigned to him. He'll take the lead on the interview. Okay, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Lambert, you're here before the pardon board this afternoon. You're seeking a commutation of your sentence. You were sentenced in the 15th Judicial District in Lafayette Parish in May of 1986. You received a life sentence for a second-degree murder conviction. Is that information correct?
Yes, it is.
All right, would you answer Mr. Freeman, please?
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 65.
Okay, and how long have you been in prison?
40 years.
48?
40
30.
years.
40, okay. But do you have anything pending in another jurisdiction with regards to this crime?
No, none that I know of, sir.
None that you
Oh, appeal, I'm sorry.
know.
Excuse me. It's an appeal. Yes, yes, I do.
Okay, so it's under appeal. What stage is that in? Can you tell us? Your
Stage of-
count?
Oh, counsel.
So to my knowledge, it was a post-conviction relief that is now with the Third Circuit Court of Appeal for some factual innocence claim.
Okay. So what is your statement with regards to the incident? Did you have anything to do with it?
No, I did not.
Were you at the residence at all?
No, I was not.
Did you know the victim?
No, I did not.
You went to trial, you were found guilty of second-degree murder. You do have an affidavit from one of the co-defendants who said that they did it and you were not there. Do you have a drug or an alcohol problem?
Yes, I do.
Okay, you consider yourself a drug addict?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And what kind of treatment have you received?
Substance abuse program. I've learned that substance abuse triggers or changes my mind and can destroy my life.
Okay, what were some of your triggers? Do you remember?
Yes, I do, sir. It was not paying attention to the triggers that I was using. The anger.
All right, you have lots of support letters on, in your support, law enforcement comments, the sheriff is opposed. The chief is opposed, your family, Lorena Thibodeau, your sister, is unopposed. The victims, Liz Young, Ralph Young, John Young, and are all opposed to you getting out. What kind of classes have you taken?
Substance abuse, anger management, and 100 hours.
What did you learn from anger management?
I've learned that anger management has triggers. And those triggers can reduce my anger.
Okay. Let's see what other classes you've taken. Really just anger management, pre-release 1 and 2. You took any other classes beside those 3? Yeah.
Also, I have not.
Or AA or NA or
Only substance abuse.
so you don't attend AA right now? Do you
No,
attend any meetings?
sir, none that I know of. No, sir.
Okay, your disciplinary record is good. You only have 5 write-ups. Last in 1997. So that's very commendable. You're a low risk, you're a low minimum, low need. You know, we don't have a lot to go on. Where will you go? What will you do if you get out? Besides, I know you're going to the parole project. That's a good thing. Any other thing you're going to be doing?
Yes, sir. I'm going to be doing the field of plumbing.
All right. Do you have any medical problem?
Yes, I do. I was gas poisoned, and through the gas poison, I was affected through speech impediment, loss of memory, and nervousness.
Okay, when did you get this poisoning from the gas?
I assume somewhere in the early or mid-20s, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Do you belong to any clubs in the prison? Do any community service?
No, I do not.
Warden, what can you tell me about Mr. Lambert?
Well, the first thing, Mr. Freeman, is he has taken a chemical dependency treatment program here. I'm looking at the certificate. It is not what we would call substance abuse at this time, but it was taken back in July of 2001, and he does have a certificate of completion on that. As far as his time here at Angola, he's been in the plumbing shop since '92. Been a Class A trustee since '98. Worked in the plumbing shop up until 2008. Did pest control for us. His write-ups have been, as you said, he's only got 5, and the last one was couple of decades ago, we've not had any issues.
All right, I have no further questions.
Okay, thank you. Could we hear from Mr. Rick Ledoux, please?
Yes, ma'am. No.
We can hear you right there.
Yeah, we can
Hear it,
see
yeah,
it.
okay. Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Go
ma'am.
ahead.
I've been a chaplain here, volunteer chaplain program here with Cowboys for Christ. Actually 29 years in September will be our first service we did. Jackie was in our first service we did back at Camp F. I've known him ever since my first service here, 29 years. He stayed in church with us for many years back at Camp F, doing the services back there. After his incident with the gas thing, he was moved to main prison, and we still are in and out of main prison periodically with services there. So I've known Jackie all those years too. He went through a very hard time with that gas thing. It was very serious. I mean, Jackie had a really hard time to overcome that. He's done well to overcome it. But Jackie has stayed strong as far as a Christian. Jackie has stayed strong in the Lord ever since I've known him. He's been just a great friend to me and to all my team that I brought in over the years, and that's been a multiple number of people. He's always been a part of, when he could physically come, you know, he's always been a part of our church services, main prison, Camp F. Now he's at Camp C. He was in church with him last night there. Jackie has been strong in the Lord, even throughout the trials that he's been through with the gassing problem that really caused him a lot of physical problems. As far as his work, I knew him before he had that incident, and Jackie was probably one of the hardest workers that we had here at the institution. He was always called out. I mean, there was a plumbing job needed fixing, Jackie'd be working late at night or, you know, just every day. Jackie was just extremely dedicated to whatever. I've never heard security say anything bad about Jackie. I've never ran into another inmate that had a beef with Jackie or wasn't really, you know, just a very close friend to him. He's been a friend to these people here in this community for generations now, I guess you'd say years and years. We certainly would try to help support Jackie any way we could. If he gets out, wherever he goes, whatever he does, we'll be there certainly spiritually and prayerfully for him. But if we can do any physical thing to assist him in making the transition, you know, from the prison life here back in society, me and my team are more, which is about a dozen people. We're more than willing to just do everything we can to help support Jackie if he gets out.
All right, thank you very much. Mr. Darrell Miles. He's not on, he couldn't connect. Okay. The Parole Project.
Good afternoon, Kerry Myers with Louisiana Parole Project. Taking out the whole concept of factual innocence here, and which is significant. Just looking at Mr. Lambert's record, in 39 years, 5 disciplinary write-ups, the last one 25 years ago. As when he was a plumber before the gassing incident, he was one of the most valued employees, maintenance employees that they had at Angola. At the time he came here to Angola in 1984, there wasn't a lot of programs for lifers at that time. So he did what a lot of lifers did. He made himself very valuable through his plumbing skills. And once you become valuable, you're going to stay there. And yet he still continued to work even after the gassing incident, even though he's limited in what he can do. He did complete the chemical dependency class. He earned his GED in 1988, the things that he could do. Again, you heard the comments of the warden. If you just didn't even look at the other issue, his record standing on its own, Mr. Lambert's been a model prisoner. And just based on that alone, I would ask this board to give him a recommendation today to 60 years.
Okay, thank you. Did Mr. Miles ever connect? Yes, he did. All right, Mr. Miles, we'd like to hear from you. Oh. You're on mute, Mr. Miles.
Yes, excuse my tardiness. Yes, we're here to support Mr. Lambert in his efforts. I've been knowing him for quite some time now, and our program is geared toward assisting him in his reentry plan. We have a plan that is capable of servicing Mr. Lambert and seeing to it that all the issues that Mr. Lambert may have in his life, we can service him and help him get to the next level of his life. So with a favorable recommendation from this board, we will ensure you that our long-term reentry plan that we have set in place will assist Mr. Landry in his successful transition back to society.
Right.
Thank
you. Good, thank you. So before we turn it over to Ms. Hutchinson, Mr. Lambert, is there something you'd like to say to the board?
Excuse me, Ms. Renata, I hate to interrupt. His sister was actually his third speaker, Ms. Thibodeau.
Okay. Oh, I did. Yes. I apologize. I missed her. Ms. Lorraine.
Good afternoon. My name is Lorena Thibodeau, and I am Jackie's living older sister. Jackie and I have been through this for the last 39 years, and I'm a great supporter of Jackie. And I represent myself, my family, my children, that believes that I can be his best representation at this time. If Jackie were to release, I mean, Jackie is a fine young man. He's a fine older man now, almost 5 years younger than me. But I mean, Jackie has always been a good asset to me, my family, my children. I mean, my son and I were just talking about it just the other day, how he taught them how to work. But also, if Jackie were free or was given this transition into the free world, I would support Jackie. My family would support him. We would provide a place for him to live with me, and throughout the rest of his life. We'll support him financially until he can find employment on his own. And I have a whole host of brothers, sisters, nieces, and nephews that is great supporters of Jackie. You know, we want to give our deepest condolences to Mrs. Young's family, who have always been a part of our life throughout this whole thing that we've gone through. So our deepest condolences to them as well. But again, I just want to say thank you to the board for allowing me the opportunity to speak on Jackie's behalf. And I hope and pray that we can be reunited again as a family, because we've always been that type of family. I'm sure you've read the letter that I presented to the board, with us being 19 children. My dad died when I was 17, and I helped raise Jackie. I was 10, he was 5. So of course, by the time I was 15, he was only 10. So helping raise my brothers and sisters was a part of my responsibility as well as my older sibling. And Jackie have not been anything but the best brother to all of us. And even when I'm down, I send him an email and Jackie is right there to answer me. You know, so going through this, I would be supporting him throughout all of it. And that's a guarantee from me. And that's how much I believe in him. And I just hope that everybody could feel what I feel. And I just want to say to the panel, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. All right, Mr. Lambert, anything you want to say before we turn it over to Ms. Hutchinson?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to thank the board I would like to express my deepest sympathy for Mr. Jordan and Mr. Young's family, relatives, friends, loved ones. I'd like to thank my family and supporters for being here today. Thank y'all.
All right, Ms. Hutchinson.
Thank you, Board. Mr. Lambert has spent 39 years in prison today for a crime that he and both his co-defendant have said he was not a part of. There was no physical evidence, and the statement of Mr. Linden has been recanted some 4 or 5 times. If the board sees the most recent declaration by Mr. Linden, he also goes through why he waited so long to implicate the family members that were a part of the crime, and that he waited until they passed away. Mr. Linden also asked for forgiveness from Ms. Young's family and Mr. Lambert's family for the wrong he's done regarding this crime, something that wasn't in any of the previous affidavits he sent. Mr. Lambert and his family have extended their deepest empathy to the Young family. Mr. Lambert truly regrets even being affiliated with people who could commit a crime like that. But if I can switch gears for a second, I'd like to talk about his rehabilitation. Mr. Lambert admits that he wasn't a saint at the time. His record shows he had been involved in car burglaries. So when he entered prison, he used his time wisely and became a better man. He reconnected with God. And as Mr. Ledoux stated, he was one of the first people to join Cowboys for Christ when it came to Angola and helped build the chapels. He furthered his education. He got his GED and he took courses with the Baptist Theological Seminary. And he picked up a passion and a trade in plumbing. And so please don't fault Mr. Lambert for not having as many certificates as some other people. His volunteer work in plumbing and pesticide on the grounds kind of kept him from it. But if we can talk about how trusted he was with that status, Mr. Lambert has done plumbing all the way down to the B line in staff homes. He volunteered whenever he was needed. He poses no threat to society. In 39 years, he's only had 5 disciplinary infractions, the last one being 24 years ago. In his medical record after the gas poisoning, he was described as a model inmate. When he became sick and required to spend more time inside in the dorm as an orderly, he spends his time speaking to younger men about staying out of trouble in prison. Mr. Lambert comes before you with a solid reentry plan and all the support and services of the Louisiana Parole Project and the support of an enormous family, because this is not half of them. So today we respectfully ask the board to consider Mr. Lambert's statements in sympathy to the family, the concerns that he had towards his convictions that were outlined in the brief, his disciplinary record, his age and his low Tiger score, his health, his reentry plan, and his family support. And so I have to ask the board, please, if you could grant a favorable recommendation for his clemency. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I believe we're prepared, Mr. Freeman.
Yes, Mr. Lambert, have to say, I agree with Mr. Meyer, regardless of the extenuating circumstances. I think you have done the time to earn your release. I think you've been a model prisoner. The warden also has made some good statements about you. So my vote is to grant and commute your sentence to 45 years. And that's how I vote. Good luck to you.
Mrs. Jackson.
All right, my vote is the same. Mr. Lambert, you have served your time well. You've been a model inmate, no disciplinary issues, and great service to the institution. So my vote is the same.
Thanks, Mr. O'Shea.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. Mr. Lambert, job well done. My vote is the same reason. Good luck.
And I concur with my colleagues, Mr. Lambert. My vote also is to make the recommendation, commute your sentence to 45 years. So we'll make that recommendation behind. Good luck to you.